Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus are the newest, latest and greatest flagships by the Korean company. Stay with us to find out exactly what we think about these new, phenomenal, remarkable devices. Samsung has recently released their new flagship S10 series, and now it's our turn to review the new Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10 Plus. These two are all-around phenomenal devices, so stay with us to see our opinions on these two new phones. At the very beginning, we have to say that they differ in only three things, which is the display size, battery capacity, and the selfie camera. Because these two phones are otherwise basically the same, we'll cover them both in a single review, primarily focusing on the Galaxy S10, and we'll mark the differences where there are some. Before we begin with the phones themselves, just like every other time, let's take a look inside the factory box and see what Samsung has packed inside. Inside each package we have the phone itself, a SIM tray tool placed in a smaller box inside which there are some user manuals, branded AKG 3.5mm in-ear headphones, a USB Type-C charging and data transfer cable, a Samsung's adaptive fast charging adapter, and a USB Type-A to USB Type-C converter. Quite a rich package, we must say. Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus are built of glass with Corning Gorilla Glass 6 protection on the front and Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the back, and an aluminum frame around. The S10 that we have here came in the Prism Green color option, but also available are Prism White, Prism Black, Prism Blue, Canary Yellow, and Flamingo Pink. The S10 Plus came in Prism Black, and while the rest of the color options are the same, there are two additional colors, Ceramic Black and Ceramic White. Let's now jump straight into the review and see what these devices have to offer. In terms of the display, the S10 has just about everything you could possibly ask for. It's a big display at 6.1 inches in diagonal, but not too big, so it's very easy to use it single-handedly. Here's one point where the S10 Plus is different. It has a larger 6.4-inch display. Samsung made an updated version of their signature Super AMOLED display, so the S10 and the S10 Plus use the so-called Dynamic AMOLED screen. Basically, they are very similar, with one major difference being that the Dynamic AMOLED screen of the S10 and the S10 Plus is now capable of showing HDR10 Plus enabled content. Otherwise, these displays are pretty much the same as the ones found in previous Samsung flagship devices. The Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus both have a tall 19:9 aspect ratio displays, and with the resolution of 1440 by 3040, you'll only be able to conclude, just as we did, that these displays are magnificent. Color accuracy is outstanding, and due to very slim top and bottom bezels, these phones feel as if they're almost all displayed. Using them is just a great experience. Also, it's worth to mention that they both have a notched display, although not in a traditional sense. These phones use the so-called Infinity O display, inside of which there are front-facing sensors. More about this in the camera segment. These are both edge displays as well, so all edge functionality is available on these phones too. Samsung's signature always-on display is also here, but it's on pretty much all Samsung phones nowadays, so it's not really that special. Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus are on the cutting edge of technology in terms of the chipset. These phones are powered by the latest and greatest Samsung-built Exynos 9820 Octa chipset, which is built on an 8nm manufacturing process. In China, Latin America, and the US, the S10 and the S10 Plus will come with a Snapdragon 855 chipset built in. Still, the versions we have are powered by the Exynos chip, so let's talk about that one. As we've already said, the chipset is on the cutting edge of technology, and it's appropriately fast. No matter what you throw at them, these phones will deliver. Whether it be photo editing or video editing, gaming, heavy multitasking, it doesn't matter to these beasts. In gaming, for example, you'll always have a high, stable frame rate, and even though they heat up a little after long gaming sessions, it doesn't really hurt the performances at all. Memory-wise, the Galaxy S10 comes in only two memory configurations, with 8GB of RAM and either 128 or 512GB of internal storage memory, while the Galaxy S10 Plus has one more additional memory configuration, with 12GB of RAM and 1TB of storage memory. It's common to find this much RAM in many PCs nowadays, so this information is even more than welcome. On the other hand, if for some reason you're not happy with either 128 or 512GB, or even, God forbid, 1TB of internal storage, and you need more, There's a hybrid dual SIM slot in both of these phones that will allow you to use a micro SD card and expand your storage by an additional 512 GB. Another cool thing about these phones is that, much the same as other modern smartphones, they are IP68 rated for water and dust resistance. Feel free to use these phones around water. As long as you're not actively trying to drown them, they're safe. The phones have several biometric protection options, and we assume that most users will end up using the in-display ultrasonic fingerprint readers. It sits in both phones in a very nice, comfortable position. It does a good job, it unlocks the phones the majority of times, although it does fail sometimes, but it's not nearly as fast as you'd expect it to be. We used face recognition during testing, however, it's definitely not the most secure way to protect this phone. It doesn't work like the iPhone's Face ID that maps your face and uses the data to unlock the device, but rather captures an image of your face and compares it to the one registered. We tested this method, and indeed, the phones let us in when we pointed them towards the video of ourselves. This is not the most reliable method, and we can't really recommend it to anyone. When it comes to sound reproduction, we must say that these phones produce stereo sound, since there are two speakers blasting your way when you're viewing videos or listening to music. The sound is crisp and plenty loud, definitely one of the best on the market. Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus use Android version 9.0 Pie out of the box with Samsung's One UI on top of it. Samsung Galaxy S10 family are the first smartphones that come with One UI out of the box, and we must say that it's an acquired taste. There's a learning curve, and it takes some getting used to, but overall it's a good system. It's snappy, intuitive, and works really well. We have to point out though that it's not your normal Android experience, so if you're looking for a stripped down version of Android, these phones won't provide. When it comes to the cameras, the S10 and the S10 Plus have quite a few of them. On the back of both of these phones, there's the same triple camera setup. The main sensor brings a resolution of 12 megapixels. If you remember the camera on the Galaxy Note 9, this one is pretty much the same. It also has the variable aperture that we had in the Note 9, and that goes from f1.5 to f2.4 on demand. Taking advantage of the variable aperture, these phones are able to capture some really good nighttime shots, which are definitely some of the best on the market. This is genuinely an amazing feature, and we're really glad that Samsung has decided to stick with it in these phones as well. The second sensor has the resolution of 12 megapixels as well, and it's a telephoto sensor that will allow up to 2 times optical zoom. These two sensors are both optically stabilized, which is a great addition. The third sensor is an ultra-wide one, and it has the resolution of 16 megapixels. Group photos with many people are due to this camera quite easy. All these sensors together work really well. The camera interface is quite rich, and there you can find many options to improve the quality of your photos, such as the HDR, AI Scene Optimizer, Live Focus, among other things. The night mode is automatically enabled through the Scene Optimizer, and even though it works, it's not worth it because it simply overexposes highlights of the photo, making it more grainy compared to the photo made without the night mode on. Inside the Pro mode, you can manually adjust pretty much all photo parameters, which will be interesting for all the photo geeks out there. When it comes to video capturing, the Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus are capable of capturing videos in maximum 4K resolution at 60 FPS. However, only this resolution is not stabilized. All other resolutions, including 4K and 30 FPS, are stabilized. Dynamic videos are good, however, still videos are just excellent. It's a pity that the Pro mode isn't available for video capturing, but it is what it is and you'll have to deal with it. We can only hope that Samsung will deliver it through one of their upcoming software updates. On the front of the Galaxy S10, there is a single camera sensor placed inside the Infinity O display's punch hole. This is a 10 megapixel wide-angle sensor that captures really good selfies and does an excellent job in video calls since it provides 4K videos as well, albeit at 30 FPS maximum. The Galaxy S10 Plus, apart from this sensor, has one more selfie sensor, which is an 8 megapixel depth of field sensor. It serves to help the main camera capture even better portrait photos with great bokeh effect. However, the camera on the S10 is very capable as it is, so the differences are very subtle. All around, both these phones have really great selfie cameras, and the only issue with them is their placement. They have a weird position being placed in the upper right corner, so it'll take some getting used to in order to take perfect selfies. Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus are flagships by one of the leading manufacturers, and as such, it's only natural for them to have the best possible connectivity features on the market. That's why these phones have almost everything. Let's start from the bottom edge of the phone. There we have a USB Type-C port for charging and data transfer connections, and also a 3.5mm headphone adapter. On the top edge, there's a hybrid SIM tray that can house either 2 nano SIM cards or 1 SIM and 1 microSD card for storage expansions, as we've already mentioned. When it comes to wireless connections, there's the Wi-Fi 802.11 on the dual band with Wi-Fi Direct and hotspot modes, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, NFC, even FM radio in USA and Canada. We really weren't joking when we said these phones had almost everything. The only thing that's missing, and that's worth mentioning, is some sort of IR blaster. However, this is such a minute and irrelevant sensor that we can't really say it's a flaw. The battery built inside the Galaxy S10 has the capacity of 3400 mAh, while the Galaxy S10 Plus has a significantly bigger battery with a capacity of 4100 mAh. With this capacity, the S10 will last a whole day. However, if you're a heavy user, don't expect it to last more than that. The S10 Plus, on the other hand, will last 2 days easily for a regular user. A great thing is that charging is, well, fast. The S10 charges from 0 to 100% in only an hour and a half, while the S10 Plus, due to a bigger battery, has a longer charging time and it takes 1 hour and 40 minutes. So even if you're left with no battery, a coffee break is about all that it takes to recharge the batteries, both yours as well as your phone's. The phones also support fast wireless charging, and since both wired and wireless chargers output 50 watts of power, we believe that the charging time is the same. Anyway, battery is something you'll forget about with these phones, no matter if you're an average or a heavy user. While we're at the topic of wireless charging, we have to mention the reversible wireless charging capability of these phones. Both of them can serve as power banks for other devices. So if you, for instance, have Galaxy Buds or a Galaxy Watch, you can charge them up by simply placing them on the back of either of these phones. Obviously, this will drain the battery from the phone. You won't be able to use this feature with less than 30% charge. Samsung Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus are remarkable phones. At the moment, there's nothing that they can't do. They're definitely one of the best smartphones on the market. Every part of these phones is top-notch, from build quality to hardware and cameras. They are just phenomenal as long as you keep in mind that the face unlock isn't the most secure. The only true flaw, if you can say so, is that these flagships come with quite a flagship price. Officially, Samsung sells the S10 for around €930 and the S10 Plus for €1,050, which is not the kind of money people pay for a phone easily. Still, if you like Samsung, like to keep up with the technology, and enjoy having the best of the best, either of these phones will be the right one for you.
So, what do you think about these two phones? Do you like them? Do you hate them? What is it that you don't like about them, if there is such a thing? Let us know in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions or you would like any other device be reviewed, again, let us know either here or on our Facebook page. If you like this review, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook and Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sit back and relax as we're working hard on new material for you.